Hey, this is Mass X with a brand new, Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade video, the Japanese version, and yes, as you can see in the background, Sukuna arrived. It was full of a lot of issues, and oh my god, you would have thought the world was coming to an end. These servers were crashing, it was a pain to get in, but we got in about 15 minutes late, and we pulled for him. And all I can say is F you, Sukuna. I knew this was going to be a horrible pull session, but while the pulls are in the background, let's go on and talk about this character. And we need to talk about the recollection bit. As you see, I pulled that right away. I think multiple copies, which is also phenomenal, especially with Sukuna, the character itself. But as we know, we have our first Sukuna in the game, Reimu Sukuna, and of course it is blue type, and it's an attacker, focus combined, affiliation is incarnation, and it is going to be limited, so it will not be in the general pool, so keep that in mind. So at least try to pull one if possible. One of the big characteristics with this character that you do need to be aware of is it cannot be assigned with Yuji Itadori. They cannot be on the same team, which is kind of obvious given the form of Sukuna that we have being our first one. So I think that goes without saying and is pretty much obvious, and I have no issue with that at all. Now let's talk about the kit for this character, because I probably wasn't as blown away as a lot of people were with this character. I do still think the Anniversary Gojo is just by far the best unit in the game right now for Japan. But don't get me wrong, this character is no slouch at all. And I can only imagine if you compare the first Gojo blue version to what's available now, Sukuna is just going to become a monster by the fourth incarnation of release of characters for that. So now, skill 1, know your place. At level 1, it deals 130% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, fills own ultimate gauge by 100, inflicts 1 stack of continuous damage, laceration is what they call it, equal to 20% Jujutsu, 3 turns. Multiplier of continuous damage laceration is 20%. If skill restriction status is active, skill cannot be used. Now, if you get it up to level 10, it's going to deal 214.2% range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. And of course, the ultimate gauge by 100 stays the same, as well as everything else. So that is a nice bump going from level 1 at 130 to level 10 at 214.2%. Now his next skill 2, Show Me. At level 1, it deals 235% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, 3 hits, medium chance of performing a critical hit, increases own critical hit rate by 30% for 3 turns, increases own critical hit damage by 50% for 3 turns. Pretty good stuff there. If skill restriction status is active, change skill effect, cursed energy cost goes to 0 and deals 300% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. The more owned cursed energy has, the greater damage increases. Increases the selected enemy's damage received by 30% for 3 turns. And at level 10, it gets crazy. It deals 350.4% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy versus 235. Pretty crazy stuff there. And your critical hit rate goes up to 45.1%, and critical hit damage, it goes up to 75.2%. And as for the skill restriction, it goes to 451.2% melee taijutsu damage. Absolutely insane. And the damage received to the selected enemy goes to 45.1%. Yeah, this is a pure DPS attacker, this character. Really good stuff. Now, for skill 3, Unseen Slash at level 1, it deals 160% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, inflicts 2 stacks of continuous damage, laceration equal to 20% Jujutsu 3 turns. If own cursed energy is 40 or more, it changes the skill effect. The cursed energy cost is 40, deals 320% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, inflicts 2 stacks of continuous damage, as discussed above, but now that goes to 40% Jujutsu. If your own cursed energy is 90 or more, it changes again and deals 800% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, inflicts 3 stacks of continuous damage, and now it goes to 50% Jujutsu. Absolutely sick stuff. And the multiplier of continuous damage is 20%, as we've talked about before. At level 10 now, okay, like this character is just insane. It now goes to, for the first part, deals 240.6% versus 160%, okay? If your own cursed energy is at 40 or more, it goes from dealing 320% to 481.3%. Absolutely stupid. And if your cursed energy cost is at 90, check this out. You go from 800% to 1,203.2% for a skill 3. Absolutely crazy stuff there. Character is just going to be a DPS beast. I keep saying that. Now, let's get down to business and talk about the ultimate, the domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. At level 1, it expands the domain 1 turn, grants sure hit effect to self for 1 turn, deals 1,120% ranged Jujutsu damage to all enemies, so it's AoE and it's 8 hits. It inflicts 4 stacks of continuous damage equal to 50% Jujutsu 4 turns. The multiplier continuous damage is 20%. It activates skill restriction status 2 times. Cannot charge own ultimate skill gauge for 3 turns. Increases the maximum amount of cursed energy by 100 for 6 turns. Recovers own cursed energy by 200. Pretty solid. Now at level 10, that initial damage of 1120 goes up to 1,684.5%. Yeah, he's gonna be a beast to be reckoned with on the field. Now the combo ultimate effect increases own and the combo allies break damage by 10%. That's for 2 turns. Deals 100% ranged Jujutsu damage to all enemies. Now the auto skills for this character. Oh boy, there's a lot here too. At the start of turn, and this is the reverse curse technique, recovers own HP based on the frequency of damage received. If a skill can hit multiple times, skill counts as 1 damage received. If no damage received, you will recover own HP by 6,500. Chance is 50%. If receiving 2 or more times of 3,000 HP damage, recovers own HP by 6,500. Chance is 85%. So yeah, he's going to be a difficult one to kill also when he's on the field. Now let's go to the next one, King of Curses. At the start of battle, grants poison, darkness, soul stun, confusion immunity to self. Grants immunity to instant death effects caused by soul damage to self. Grants 30% flame resistance to self. When critical hit is performed, increases own damage dealt by 30%, and that will be for 2 turns. Recovers own cursed energy by 20. If receiving a 3,000 HP damage, there's a 50% chance of increasing own taijutsu damage by 20%, and that will be for 2 turns. And a 50% chance of increasing own jujutsu damage by 20% for 2 turns. Yeah, this character is loaded. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. He's He's just on a whole nother level. He's definitely going to be one of the top tier DPSs in the game. Now, let's talk about the recollection, King of Curses, which just makes him even more deadly. The effects of this one is when ultimate skill is activated, increase own damage dealt by 85% for 1 turn 1 time, and it's effective for blue type attacks. So this is built for him. The cooldown is 6 turns for that. If you unlock LB1 at the start of the 7th turn, increases own Jujutsu damage by 10%, 2 turns. And if you get to LB3, when ultimate skill is activated, increases own damage dealt by 90%. Now again, another 5%. Absolutely a great recollection bit to be running on this particular character. I mean, just goes without saying, but as you can see, I had to go to pity for him, so F you, Sukuna. Luckily I have dupes, so I was prepared if I had to go to pity with him, what I would be doing. But he absolutely looks stellar and sick. Now, this is my finished version as of 12 hours or so after this character released. So I only put 1 dupe on him for now because I want to test him with just 1 dupe, because I know a lot of people won't be able to dupe him or can only do 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish duping him out. I plan on maxing this character out, but I've got him already to level 134. Of course, I max graded him to 15 immediately. And then I went level 8 on all skills, level 9 for the ultimate. I have enough to max everything, but again, I wanted to back off a bit just for people that aren't going to be able to fully max this character. And as you can see, like I said, just he's at 1 dupe right now. Now I do have some gameplay with him, and I just went ahead and just did so you could see each of the skills. But so far in the event, he's just decimating everything in his path. Absolutely stupid, sick character. Now for the recollection bit 2, for testing purposes for now, I just have it at LB2. I'll go ahead and max it out too, because I have plenty of the generic ones if I don't end up pulling any more. So yeah, it's right now giving you just HP at 15.30%. But again, this was built for this character. He's just doing insane damage with that. On top of that, all you global complainers, why don't you take a look at all the banners that have dropped right now? Of course, you have the Sukuna banner, which everybody wants. Yeah. 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 I mean, freaking the Japan server is so loaded right now with banners. It is absolutely stupid, but it's all about Sukuna. Let's be honest, it is about Sukuna. So I'm planning on having some fun with this character and recording some videos with it. But with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.